In this video, we're going to be removing a rear right door panel off a 2012 Range Rover Sport. We have the door off. So it's a little easier for us since it's laying like this, but I mean, it's pretty easy when the car is, obviously the door is on the car. Just try to use plastic tools on this, that way you don't damage your door trim. And it just pops out. Okay, so you have two main clips, one in the front, one in the back, and then you have these little clips that just kind of pop in. This one's broken previously, so it's bent. They put it on the wrong way, but just kind of guide them in when you're popping them back in. Make sure they get all in position before you pop it in.
No.
Alright, now we're going to be removing Phillips screws. Protection. Alright, now you pop this little cover off. The thinner flathead you have, the better. That way you don't damage the door panel. Yeah, it's just another Phillips. And make sure you take all the screws out so you don't drop them later. Alright, so now we got all the screws out. Now you're gonna start find an area where you could pick through it, underneath it, and just start popping out the clips all around the door panel towards the bottom of it. We're using a plastic wedge tool. So once you pop the clips towards the bottom, now you gotta do this top part. Alright, so this thing popped out right now, so it's easy to unplug it and then doing it later. This is the little light towards the bottom of the door panel. Pop it back in here. Alright, now you're just gonna have to start unplugging everything. So you gotta unplug this from the module. It's pretty easy, just press on the tab and it releases. Okay, now we're going to be doing door handle cable. Alright, so this is the door panel off. So these are the clips you have to work your way all around to pop them out of. See, they're all around. And they get pretty high up there. This is broken. Alright, now we're going to be removing the rear right glass window. So we have the door panel off already. Now we're going to take off the speaker. And we're using the Torx. What is it? T20 Torx. So we're removing the speaker to have a little easier access to get to the window regulator slider lock that's holding the glass in place. Alright, now we're going to be removing the window regulator, T25 Torx. Okay, so we're going to remove the window regulator motor. What's going to happen is it's going to basically put the glass into a neutral, so we could slide the glass up and down as much as we need it to get to the unlocking tab and move the glass out of the way in the rail, so it makes it a little easier. Usually it's better to do it two people, so one unlocks the tab and the other one pulls on the glass. Yeah. It's kind of difficult holding the camera at the same time. We're gonna try a smaller tool, see if we can get it in further. Okay, so press it from the top down on the glass, on the attachment of the bracket to pull it out of the clip, and then press the clip tab down as well to unlock it and pull that out. Alright, so now we're going to slide that glass down. Just make sure you slide that little rail locking thing down all the way so you don't lock it into it again. And now we're going to remove these, the weather stripping. We're going to take off only the interior one, not the outer one. gonna move this trim to get to the weather seal. It's on 3M, basically double-sided tape all around. We try to remove it a little too far out. You don't have to remove it all the way, just enough to basically pick on this weather seal. This piece is very weak at the corners, so you got to be really careful. We broke ours, so just don't go that far in. So we pulled the weather seal out, and now we're gonna attempt to pull the glass. So you have to pop it out of the rail, so kind of pull it at an angle. We're using a T20 Torx to get the screw off. We'll see if we could remove the outer seal, see if it's going to give us a little bit more room. We try to skip a step, make it easier for you guys to take it off, but I guess I might have to take off a little more stuff. Okay, so that weather seal was in the way, so we gotta remove both weather seals, the inner and the outer one. So this is the glass. Let's see if we can get you a little better shot. So what happens is that window regulator rail locks into this right here. So when you push on this down, push this down, it pulls it out of that bracket, and then you press on the bracket tab to unlock it, and then you can slide the glass out. It's pretty easy. You're removing the window regulator assembly. We're using a 10mm socket. The glass does have to be removed. We do have to remove the glass. Just make sure you get it at a right angle. It will come out pretty easy. So this is the tab that locks in the glass. So basically it pops out here. So you press on this down and you pull the glass out. Now we're going to be removing the door lock actuator and the door handle as well, the exterior door handle and the bracket that's holding the door handle. It's all part of the assembly. So we're using a T25 Torx. These plugs are on your door lock actuator. I don't know if I can do that video. It's the one on top right there. Alright, so it's kind of difficult to record this part, but I'm going to try to show you what we're going to be doing. So through this opening, we're going to use a long flathead, and we're going to press on those two tabs. So we're removing this little section of the door handle. There's ways doing it from the outside, but you could damage the door, so we're doing it from the inside just to be safe. So we got it off. Okay, so these are the tabs I was trying to get you to show you that we're pressing on. So we're pressing with the long flathead kind of on both sides, and then this thing just kind of slides like this, pops out. So if you're putting it back in, it pops in like this and just goes up. You could do it from the outside. You're just gonna have to use something flat to press on these tabs on both sides at the same time, and then you could pull it out. Maybe even a credit card will work. Alright, so the fun part starts is taking off the door handle. We broke two of them so far because the plastic is very brittle. You have to press on the upper tab. Let me see if we can get you a better shot. Мне кажется, нижний делал. Надо вверх. So basically you're pulling on the door handle on the outer, and then you're trying to press on this tab to release it off the lock. This part right here. Yeah, this thing breaks really easy. I actually have one right here. So this is what we're doing, is we're trying to press on this and then slide the door handle out. So it's gonna be this right here.
Видишь, я тут вроде и прижимаю, что, но все равно.
Yeah, we're still having a lot of fun taking this thing off. So. If you had a choice to avoid doing this, removing the outer door handle, I would avoid this at all costs because you will break it. This is what you're trying to get it over, this little tab right here. Trying to lift it and slide it out of it. Alright, so ours broke right there. Now we're going to be removing the bracket, the internal bracket, using a T25 Torx. It's actually a T20 Torx. Alright, so once you remove the screw, there's going to be a locking pin. So you have to remove this cover. And then you gotta pop this out and take it out completely. Alright, now you slide the bracket towards the front of the vehicle. Okay, so you have to press on this locking tab and it will allow you to slide the bracket forward. Okay. Alright, slide the bracket towards the front of the car once you unlock it. So now it's off the door shell. Now we're going to remove the door lock actuator to pull the assembly off. Now we're using a T30 Torx. So this is your door lock assembly. So to remove this door lock actuator without removing that handle is basically impossible. And if you are going to be removing the actuator, you will have to remove the door handle. And pretty much, I'm pretty sure you will break the door handle, so just expect to either find a replacement or try to glue it or whatever you want to do about it. But it's a very fragile plastic and it does not bend, it just breaks. And all this, it's all covered by the door shell, so you can't just access to pop it out to avoid removing the door handle assembly. Even this is all covered up with the door. So if you even pop it out, you're not going to put it back in without removing this bracket off.